Yeah. No front number. Yeah. Yeah. Unashamed, unafraid. I'm trying to walk the walk. Truth on the mic, no shame here, just real talk. Came from the outside, never fit in. Now we tell the story and the healing begins. No front, no mask, just telling the truth. Keep it real, keep it raw, speaking straight from the booth. If you feeling like an outsider, this one's for you. Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Live Unashamed. We're here at Unashamed, Unafraid, unashamed of sexual addiction recovery, and unafraid of coming unto Christ for healing. You know, I was thinking about this the other day. I prayed like in December of last year, so exactly a year ago when I started as the host, and I was really intimidated by that. I just felt like I was really underqualified to all you do is talk on a podcast, I learned.
Right?
It turns out it's not that hard. But I was super stressed out about it.
Conversation with some homies.
Yeah, and I was like, I need some brothers, right? Because like Chris, you've known James and Steve for so long. You work with them here at Accepted and all the things. And I was just like, I don't have any brothers. And I literally prayed. I just remembered this. I haven't thought about this for months and months and months. I prayed and I said, God, help me to find brothers to bring into this journey with me. Well, over the course of the next, 3 or 4 months, I met Joshua and Mason. And I was just thinking about like how nice it is to have guys in recovery who get me and who I can call when I need to just like talk some shame stuff out loud and get it out so that Satan stops pestering me with it. It's caused a huge change in the way that I show it, but up in recovery and the way I feel about sharing my story on the podcast. So it's just exciting. I guess the point in that is if you ask God to give you the things you need, he'll give you the things you need. It might not be what you think you need, but he'll give you what you need. So,
yeah.
Anyways, a little short story.
Man.
What are we talking about today, guys?
Totally. Josh, you want to hit this one?
Yeah,
so Josh came to us about this.
Hit us with it, friend.
Josh came to us with a quote that we were like, hey, that would actually be a really good podcast, Live Unashamed podcast that we're talking about. So that's why we got this happening today.
This is a quote that I heard from the Stick of Joseph podcast. Hayden is a Warrior Heart Boot Camp alumni, and he's awesome. So I love that podcast. And it's from Tom McLaughlin, their guest that they had on. He said, when you resist the adversary in the same way he confronted you, it will always increase and feed his power of resistance. In a weird way, the worst thing you can do is resist temptation. It is a paradox because the thing that you fight, you strengthen. Instead, try to turn the light up somewhere. Ask God in this moment, where is somewhere I can turn the light up in my domain? Where can I give love? Where can I give forgiveness? Where can I go and serve and sacrifice for someone else? And it was just an interesting idea to me that the thing you fight, in the same way it fights you, you strengthen. You have to fight it in a different way than the devil tries to fight you. You don't fight fire with fire. You have to fight fire with water. And you have to come with something healing, not something contentious.
Yeah, so how does that apply to recovery? Because I feel like I like that idea, and I think there's a lot there. I think I might word it slightly different because I can show you 5 places in the Bible where it says to resist temptation, but I see what the point is, right? That the deeper principle, which is...
We're saying resist temptation, not fight temptation.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in the quote, it does say resist, but there's something to be said there. What were we saying about the pink elephants?
No, it's...
When temptation comes in, right? It's like, don't think of a pink elephant. So it's like when temptation comes in, it's like, don't act out. Don't act out. Well, as Tony Robbins says, you don't experience life. You experience the life you focus on. So if you're constantly focusing on acting out, you're going to act out.
The more you tell yourself, don't think of the pink elephant, the only thing you can think of is is a pink elephant.
It's just like the whole thing where I've talked about it numerous times on podcast of when I see women, when I'm out about, I acknowledge their beauty. I don't sit there and stare at them and gawk at them and be like, oh, I want to get with them or anything like that, like I used to do. I will allow myself 3 seconds to acknowledge their beauty and then get myself back to what am I doing here? What am I here for? I'm here to be with my family, or I'm here to grab food or whatever, so I can get back into that. I acknowledge their beauty, because if I don't acknowledge it, then that draw is like, I've got to look. I gotta go be by her, or I gotta go try to meet her or whatever. And so it's like I'm fighting that temptation, and it just like draws me in so much more. And I'm like, nope, I just acknowledge the beauty and carry on.
Yeah, to your point, it's not really not resisting. It's just doing it in a way that actually works. So
temptation comes in, and instead of saying, well, now you go into shame because you had temptations and stuff, it's like, I've got some temptations right now. What's going on for me right now?
Yeah, and I think a big thing too is that when you have an urge, when you have a temptation, you say this a lot, is sometimes you feel those like it's all in your body, right? Like you feel activated. Totally. Live in that, right? Your nervous system is activated. Your fight or flight is activated.
Yeah, your adrenaline's pumping.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that.
You get anxiety, that kind of stuff. So when you're trying not to think of the purple elephant and you're all activated and like your whole body's freaking out and it's just yelling at you like, give me dopamine, right? Like I need this, right? If you're trying to just fight that, then it's just not going to work, because you're trying to fight against what your body thinks is healthy. But if you rather just allow that in and be like, yeah, you're there, right? You're there. Like, it's awesome. It's awesome, bud. I know you need dopamine, but taking a healthy choice after that, right? It's going to be so much harder to just fight if you simply just allow that urge, like he was saying, right? Take that 3 seconds, acknowledge the beauty, and then remind yourself, oh, why am I here, right? Feeling that urge? Oh, I'm feeling an urge. I don't want to do that. Okay, what am I doing now, right? Go connect with somebody. Go do something like that. And I think that's why it can be so detrimental to fight it, because you're fighting against that feeling in your body. You're fighting against your brain that thinks it knows best.
Well, I've had some really positive experiences in my own recovery because what we're talking about is trying to fight bad behavior with shame. I think that's what we're talking about. Yeah. Because if you try to shame it by convincing yourself what a bad thing it is, or just, no, I'm going to look at that. That's bad. Like women are bad. My attraction's bad. Right. You try to fight that. It suddenly triggers all the old behaviors, just like you were talking about, Chris. My experience has been that when I have like a sexual image pop into my mind, right? Maybe something I've viewed before in pornography, and it comes into my head, and I actually, I probably need to reroute on this, because it's been about 2 or 3 months since I've practiced this consistently, and it was going well for a while. But what I was doing for a long time that was really helpful is I would have that image come into my head, and I'd say, that's a really awesome thought. Sweet. And then I just move on. And it got me away from the common practice of my life, which was to be like, no, do not think of that, Sam. This is bad. Right? And then suddenly sex was bad again, and then suddenly I was bad again. Right? And that's why you have to, you can't fight Satan with Satan's tactics. You have to move towards light, which I thought was really
turn the light up.
Turn the light up.
That was the next thing I wanted us to talk about. I wanted to ask you guys what some specific ways you turn the light up in your life in recovery when you have those moments. Once I heard this, I started trying to find ways to do that. And there's easy ways to do that at home, just like doing service for my spouse or just playing with my kids or something. But one of the things that I found to be really valuable is I would reach out to a brother in recovery. And it's really easy for us to notice our own problems and mistakes, but it's also really easy for us to notice the good in our friends and our brothers. And so I just was like, who's somebody in recovery right now I could reach out to, and I could just kind of pull out some of that goodness and just remind them of that, and just tell them hey, I just wanted to let you know I really appreciate this example that you set. I really love this thing that you provided for me in my recovery that's affected me. And just it starts up such a beautiful conversation, and it's so amazing how that purple elephant just disappears. And I wanted to ask you guys what some of the things were that you do in your own recovery to turn the light up. Let's start with Chris.
Who's going first? I'll go first, but I wanted to hear these guys.
I knew you had some already.
I know, but that's why I'm like,
hit it, Chris.
I'm always willing to jump in, but I want you guys to go.
Let's hear it, Chris.
So for me, it's connection. Whether it's connection with God, whether it's connection with self, whether it's connection with brotherhood, like turning that light up is just not doing it alone. Because I did that for a long time, and it just doesn't freaking work. Do you see that FERC? That was my word. that's like freaking work. It doesn't FERC combined.
FERC the work, man.
Work. Right? That's why I went there. But that for me is totally turning it up.
Yeah.
Turning up the light. Changing my focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I guess you guys don't really know me too well. I'll probably be on here soon to share my story. But I'm pretty early on in this world. But I feel like right now I'm kind of learning that right now. And
Like you were just born, or
in the world of recovery. I am way younger than all of you guys. You guys are all
True story,
old.
bro.
Oh my gosh. I was kidding.
I'm more than double your age, figure.
Be my grandpa. My goodness, Chris. No, but in the world of recovery, right? Like I did the whole try harder gospel type of thing. I'm LDS, Latter-day Saint. And so I did the whole thing, like go see my bishop, doing all that kind of stuff. Tried to go a couple of different programs, and now I landed here last year when Chris connected me with Sam, and then Sam connected me with Josh. Anyways, we'll get into that in another episode. I feel like I'm learning that right now. So I'm learning how to turn the light up. And a big thing is connected with connection is honesty. Just learning how to be honest and be honest with like the thoughts. And for me, a big thing of it is that, what I found out when I started to be honest with you guys, because Sam and Josh, who I'm reaching out to and being honest with, especially about those thoughts and about some of those things, is there's people out there that I can share this with and they still love me. Even though I thought, wow, if someone really sees this, they're going to know how terrible I am. They're going to know how bad of a person I am. I think that's how I shine. That's how I show light on that, is I reach out to you guys and I talk to you guys and I share those thoughts that I want to keep so dark and secretive, and I'm able to connect that way.
You expose them to the light.
Yeah, expose them to the light.
Yeah.
That's good.
wow.
Sam?
I need to process that for a second. That was really deep. I felt a lot.
Sweet. I love that you're processing an emotion.
Look at me. Recovery's happening.
Shine the light on it, brother.
Recovery's happening live on Live Unashamed. Yeah, I felt the same thing that you felt, Mason. The key is I have this stuff inside of me. I have these feelings, and I'm going to take them to a person or a source that will accept me. And how did you say it, Mason? You said it so well.
That they'll love me no matter what. They'll love me for who I am, and even the dark thoughts, because I thought, no one will really love me if they see all of me.
Yeah. I never had that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that goes back to kind of the foundational principle of recovery, at least in the beginning in my mind, which is safety. I think when I'm stuck in shame, I have to flip a switch, and that light switch is always safety. How do I create safety in my life that's going to uplift me and bring hope rather than shame? Usually that's through, as my version of who God is has changed, God has become a safe person I can talk to about those things too.
Yeah.
He never was when I was a kid, and so I just felt constant darkness in that relationship and thought that something was wrong with me.
Yeah.
That is something I love so much about recovery, that the Spirit has just shown me in a few different moments where I'll be working something in recovery with a brother like this, where I'm talking about, calling a brother and realizing that they love me, even though they know the darkest thing about me. And I realized I haven't really been praying because I've been afraid that God doesn't really love me. And then the Spirit helps me realize that the the whole brotherhood and recovery is just a way for you to contextualize the idea of being in recovery with God and realizing that he loves you. Even though you have these dark parts, he loves you. And then when you reach out to a brother, the Spirit tells you, you know what, you should probably do this with God once in a while. That's what prayer is.
Right,
And you just have like, that's what recovery for me in brotherhood and recovery has taught me how I'm supposed to be having a relationship with God.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting. I love watching other people like make those connections as well.
I think
It's
that's the ultimate light, right? That we can shine
Oh yeah.
on our recoveries is
Gosh,
connecting with God.
the finale. Oh my gosh.
Right?
This is so exciting.
Is shining, right? Is getting that relationship with God, healing it if necessary, and welcoming in him into your recovery, which I just want to add, perfect place to do that is boot camp. That's where I started. That's where I met these guys to be able to connect. Chris, thank you for connecting.
Yep.
And that's Warrior Heart Boot Camp. That was my first step into this step of shining the light.
And you guys will hear, well, actually, by the time this posted, you'll probably already have heard Mason's connection with God that we did a few weeks ago.
Mm.
But love that. Anything else on that particular quote? Changing the focus when it comes in, when the temptations come in.
You mind if I say one more thing, Josh? I had a thought about that. A lot of times, well, I've had the experience in many 12-step groups where it's like the answer to everything is to call someone. And I remember I went to a 12-step group one time where this guy was like, I made 54 calls this week. And I was like, why? I mean, I guess you maybe if you need that, but that's 7.5 calls a day, bro. Like that, how do you got to live life? You got to live life, right?
Yeah.
So my thought about that was, how do you develop a life? How do you build? Because recovery is a lifestyle change. How do I build a lifestyle that's centered around connection with safe people? That's what we should be focused on. And that's what recovery looks like, especially in the beginning when most people who struggle with addiction or unwanted sexual behavior have had a history in their life of feeling unwanted, feeling unlovable, feeling like they didn't have safe people to go to. That's why they went to porn. That's why they went to sex. That's why they go to masturbation and fantasy and all those things. And so my thought about that is we're all articulating this is, what do I need to do to better create a lifestyle that's based in connection, right? I don't need to make 54 calls a day.
Right.
What I do need to do is I need to connect with myself. I need to connect with God. I need to connect with brothers. And only I will know what the appropriate amounts of that is. But I'll feel it. I'll feel it when it's there.
Yeah.
I'll feel completely different.
See, there's guys that do 90 meetings in 90 days.
Right.
And it works for them.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I didn't do that. More power to you. If that is where you got to go and that works for you, or you make 54 calls in a week, get it. If that's what's helping you stay in recovery or live that lifestyle of recovery, and if it's providing some sobriety. But if you're still making 54 calls a day and you're still acting out every other day, something else is up. You're just going through the motions and you're checking the boxes.
Yeah.
To be like, oh,
if it's not actually
I'm making
turning the
54
light
calls,
on.
and you're just like, you're posing, right? We talk about posing at boot camp, and you're posing and saying, oh, I do all this and I do all this stuff in recovery, and you ain't doing shit.
Yeah. That's a good point, because a lot of this stuff that like, oh yeah, I'm gonna shed a light on it, right? But when really underneath it, it's like, well, I'm doing it just to do it. No, do it to connect. Do it to feel life again.
Yeah.
Do it to shed light on the things that you're feeling, brighten up your world a little bit.
And I think the big thing too, because like for me, I took a whole another thing where I was like, I didn't know any better. I wasn't posing. I was trying my best with what I knew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of it is, why do we want that connection? It's to heal the parts that are broken.
Yeah.
To heal the parts that need healing and fixing. And so instead of trying to force that urge away and force those things away and not think about the purple elephant, instead of doing that, we acknowledge it and invite God into our brokenness so he can heal us. And I think that if I would have heard that earlier on, 5-6 years ago, I would have been like, holy cow, really? And I think that's what we're talking about here.
Yep, love that.
Guys, we want to know, what does it look like to move towards light in your recovery, to shed the light? Well, we want to hear from you guys. Email us, Sam, Chris at Unashamed, Unafraid.
Or if you're watching on YouTube, put it in the comments down below.
There you go.
Oh, Joshua.
Whoa, slow down, partner. Little YouTube call out. I love it. Thanks for watching, guys. You can find us on social media at Unashamed, Unafraid. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and throw a little comment down in the comments with your
Turn the light up.
turn the light up. Turn the light up. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, continue to live unashamed.